You've grown up completely digital. I
Yeah.
mean, connection is constant for you, it's instant, it's global. But have you ever stopped to think about how we actually got here?
Yeah. How did the tech you use every single day start out? It wasn't always this massive thing that shapes, culture and news.
Exactly. And that's what we want to get into. We want to look at the facts, how social media was built, how those systems inside of it work, and what you really need to know to navigate it all safely.
It's all about understanding the mechanics of the tech that's in your hand, like every single day.
So let's start at the very beginning, the foundations.
Okay, so when we talk about the beginnings of social media, you have to forget about apps on a phone.
Yeah.
That didn't exist. We're talking late 90s, early 2000s.
And the platforms were incredibly simple, just basic websites, really. Their only goal was to connect you with friends and maybe your family.
Think of it like a digital address book, but one you could interact with.
And the biggest constraint, the thing that made it so different from today, was how you got online. You were physically tied to one spot,
Right. Most people were on dial-up internet, which was.
painfully slow. You couldn't stream a video. Checking your profile meant you had to fire up the family desktop computer and wait.
And because of that, communication was slow. It was an event just to go online.
So who was even using it back then?
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't for everybody. It was mostly, college students and tech-focused groups who were already comfortable with things like email.
And developers were just experimenting. They were trying out these brand new ideas.
Yeah, like the public wall. The idea that a friend could just leave a short note on your profile for others to see, that felt revolutionary.
The excitement was so simple back then, but it was powerful. You could find an old classmate you hadn't seen in years.
Or share a few photos without having to go get them printed. That basic desire to connect, that's the foundation for everything that came later.
And from that foundation, it just exploded.
The growth was staggering. Once the tech improved, the next big step was realizing the connection didn't have to be, just local.
Right? Platforms figured out they needed to grow beyond just the U.S. or college campuses. They had to go global.
And that's when things really changed. Companies started translating their websites into dozens of languages, so suddenly a person in London could be chatting instantly with someone in New York or Tokyo.
So these small communities, they morphed almost overnight into these huge global marketplaces for ideas and culture.
But none of that growth, that massive scale, would have happened without one single piece of technology.
The smartphone.
The smartphone.
Yeah.
That was the turning point. Before that, you were stuck. You had to wait until you got home to a computer to check a message or post something.
Social media was a destination you had to travel to. It wasn't just there.
Exactly. And then mobile apps put that entire network right in your pocket 24/7. This led to instant updates. You weren't sharing a memory anymore.
You're sharing the moment,
Mhm.
the exact moment you were in.
And that completely changed how much time people spent online. It went from a planned activity to just a constant part of life.
So, okay, we have this massive global stream of information. Billions of posts, photos, videos every day. How does a platform even manage that so your feed isn't just total chaos?
That brings us to the engine room, the algorithm.
Which sounds complicated, but what is it really?
At its core, an algorithm is just a complex computer program that sorts and filters things. Think of it like a digital librarian for your feed.
A librarian who's trying to figure out what book you'll want to read next out of billions of options.
Right. And it decides what you see based on how you act on the platform. It's not just about what you like. It tracks how long you pause on a video, what they call dwell time.
It even sees how fast you scroll past certain topics. All that data is basically fuel for the algorithm.
And the goal is pretty simple, keep you on the platform for as long as possible. So if you watch a bunch of cooking videos,
It's going to show you more cooking videos. It organizes the chaos into a stream that's perfectly tailored to you.
precisely. And that has a huge implication.
Wait, so the goal isn't to show me the most important or the newest information. It's just to show me what keeps my eyeballs on the screen.
That's the critical part. It's optimizing for engagement, which means two people sitting right next to each other on the same app can see totally different versions of the world.
Because your feed is a bubble created by your own past actions.
Understanding that your feed is curated for you is a huge part of being a smart digital citizen. What you see isn't the whole reality. It's the reality the machine thinks you want.
And that brings us to the really practical side of things. Privacy, data, and what's called digital literacy.
Because every time you post or comment or even just pause on a video, you're sharing data. The platforms aren't free because they're nice, they run on that data.
Which is why security is so important.
Yeah.
Using strong passwords, turning on things like two-factor authentication. You have to use the tools they give you.
For sure. You need to control your privacy settings, decide who sees your posts. But even when you lock things down, the companies are still collecting data on your behavior.
To show you targeted ads, right?
Exactly. Let's say you spend a week looking up a new video game console. The platform doesn't just show you ads for that console. It categorizes you as a gamer interested in that specific thing.
And then it sells that profile, that interest, to advertisers. So it's not selling your name, but it's selling you as a target audience.
And that's why those ads seem to follow you everywhere. Now here's the crucial warning: the digital footprint.
The idea that once something is online, it's basically there forever.
Pretty much. Even if you hit delete, copies can exist on servers or in web archives for years. It's very, very hard to erase something completely.
Which means we all have to think twice before we post, especially about oversharing things like your location or your address.
And this all leads to the big idea of digital literacy. It's more than just knowing how to use an app. It's the ability to find, evaluate, and share information online responsibly.
It's about asking questions. Is this a fact or is it just someone's opinion? Where did this story come from? Is the source reliable?
Can you spot when a photo has been edited? Or when a quote is taken out of context to make someone sound bad? It's about thinking critically.
And being a good digital citizen also means treating people with respect online, not engaging in cyberbullying.
Right. And this whole environment, this instant, global, algorithm-driven world, it created a totally new type of job.
A content creator.
Yeah. It completely changed who gets to have a voice. Anyone with a camera and an internet connection can build a huge audience now, sometimes millions of followers.
And their influence is massive. They can shape trends in everything from fashion and gaming to what people think about important issues.
It's a huge power shift away from traditional media like TV networks or newspapers. For a lot of young people, being a creator is seen as a real career path now.
But it's not all just for entertainment. Social media can be an incredibly powerful tool for education.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. Teachers can create private groups to share study guides. Students can team up to get help on a tough project.
You can find educational videos that explain a complex science topic way better than a textbook ever could.
It makes learning so much more collaborative. You can learn from experts all over the world instantly.
Okay, but we have to talk about the other side of this coin, the impact on mental health and how we communicate.
This is crucial. That personalized feed can become a real problem. The biggest issue is what's called the comparison trap.
Where you're scrolling and you only see the best parts of everyone else's lives,
Yeah.
right? The perfect vacation, the great grades, the amazing party.
Exactly. People post their highlight reels, and when you compare your normal, everyday life to someone else's curated perfection, it can make you feel inadequate.
It can lead to that fear of missing out, or FOMO, that anxiety that everyone else is having more fun than you. And of course, there's cyberbullying, which is a really serious issue.
So what's the solution? It's about finding a healthy balance, setting time limits on apps, taking breaks from your phone.
Your mind needs time to reset. And maybe most importantly, if you see something online that makes you feel bad or worried, you have to talk to a trusted adult, a parent, a teacher, anyone.
You should never feel like you have to deal with online stuff alone.
And what about how we talk to each other? That's changed too.
Fundamentally, we communicate with emojis, with abbreviations. It's all about speed.
Which is great for making quick plans, but you lose so much.
You lose tone. Sarcasm doesn't work well in a text. You can't see someone's facial expression. It leads to so many misunderstandings between friends.
So it's important to balance that quick digital talk with actual, in-person conversations. Practicing listening and speaking skills is still so important.
Absolutely, we need both.
So as we wrap this up, it's clear this whole digital world is not standing still. It's changing constantly.
For sure. New tech is already here. We're seeing things like virtual reality, where you might interact in 3D digital worlds. And AI, which is already running your feeds, is only going to get more powerful in how it organizes and even creates content.
This digital age is still so new. We're all kind of learning the rules as we go.
Which is why developing your digital literacy skills, learning how to check sources, protect your data, treat people with respect, it's not just some extra class.
It's as fundamental as learning how to read and write.
Exactly. You have the power to shape how these tools are used, not just be shaped by them.
A great way to think about it. Thanks for joining us to break all this down.
Good luck with your studies.